Hello and welcome to Johnny Popsicle. Today I thought I'd show the list of the top 50 live subscriber count. And this is just to show you that if you're starting into YouTube and you want a YouTube channel, the last the last thing you want your channel to be is a card channel, because none of them are in the top 50. If you look at the top, Mr. Beast, no surprise, 378 million subscribers. Guy will get 13 million views in a couple hours. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the videos he does, while very entertaining, they're all staged. They're all friends that compete. Nobody actually wins any money. They're family members. They're friends of family members. You know, they're people that are within his circle or the people that he knows circle. And he's had some shady dealings with certain people that have questionable present and past. He first put out a candy bar that, was supposed to be real ingredients and good. And then you see it on the shelf at like Wawa and it's got the same, ingredients as, any other candy bar, all toxic. So, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the whole little can of goon thing really had me thinking. And it's like, Lucana is no different than any other cards. It's the same thing going on. This idea that I could find a cards section of cards that is, like it used to be, like I remember it being, before internet and all the thievery that's going on now, all the hype, all the pump and dump. These guys are slaves for YouTube. They are. They got Discords, so that way they can control the narrative, because when you join a Discord, you have to get approval, and then if you say anything that others don't like to hear, you will be removed from the Discord. So it's controlling a narrative, it's suppressing free speech, and then they'll have Patreon, where you got to pay to see content they should be providing for free, because they're making money off of it anyway. But it's not enough. You know why? Because you don't make money off of fucking cards. That's why. It's supposed to be a collectible. It's supposed to be a hobby. But we went over some other videos. If you want to sell on eBay, you got to list every day. If you want to be a successful YouTuber, to get to where Mr. Beast is at, you got to put up stuff every day. You don't have to record it every day, but you got to put it up every day. So like I'm kind of tired of the card thing and the scamming. I don't know what I want to do with this channel. Tomorrow I have Journey Together coming, 10 sleeve packs. I don't have anything else ordered for cards. I can move this aside now. We can go back to this. I don't know. I like having cards out and displayed. I got them all over the place upstairs here and in my office. I think they would look great in a case, sitting on a wall. Display case. But that's me. I'm the collector. I'm an old school guy. Yeah, let's turn that back on. That's better. And I mean, it's some great looking cards. But it turned out the Lorcana guy. Let me turn that other light off. I don't like the way that is. Anyway, I look more at the Lorcana Goons channel. It's a small channel, and he's a scammer too. He's full of shit. He's acting like he's a purist gamist, and he's not the only one out there. They're all doing it. He's got Discord. He's got Patreon. I don't blame him for selling jerseys, T-shirts. I think merchandise is what you need to do on YouTube if you get a following. But this idea of being a purist, and he's talking about, let me tell you something about cards games, how it works. Okay, I played a lot of poker, and I played a lot of card games. It's not the cards that you have in your hand. It's how you play them. Okay, I've seen people with 2-7 offsuit in poker, the worst starting hand possible in cards, and instead of folding, they'll win. At the casino, when you're playing poker, some of them, one I would go to play poker, they had a progressive jackpot. Like if you got 4 2s or higher and lost, then you got this big progressive jackpot. It was like, it'd be like 50 grand or something. That encourages people to play those kind of hands. And it's, like I said, so it's all about what you get dealt when you're playing these games. If you're really a card game purist, okay, you want to play the game anyway. And it's just like any other card game. You know, you don't have to have the best cards of the deck to win the game. But if you're an investor and you're watching these card channels and you're hearing about how they feel like they need a certain card, that's the card I'm targeting. That's the product I'm targeting. That's the shit that's going to be marked up and you're going to pay out your fucking ass. They're going to see how dumb and desperate you really are. Because if you want to make money in cards, really make money in cards, you can't care. You got to do a thumbnail with a big open smile and face and lie to everybody. And the guy acts like he's this happy-go-lucky guy and trolled me for 8 fucking hours. But that's typical. And it's like, you know what? I don't know what kind of videos I want to put on here, but I'm going to keep throwing up shit. And if I feel like doing 30, 40 days of the laptop thing just to see what happens, see what the algorithm does, then that's what I'll do. Or I can go back to doing short videos, spaghetti westerns. What I enjoy doing is my dog's channel, because I don't care if that's monetized. That's a video diary. When I first started doing YouTube, back in like, I don't know, maybe 2018, 2019, I started doing it. Originally, I was just uploading stuff for myself. I didn't care about being monetized. I didn't want to get caught up in any of it. You know, and I got caught up in this idea of, you know, needing supplemental income. And I work every day already. I have a Class A CDL. I have a business degree. So when I'm done with my caretaker duties here that require 24/7 care, you know, I have other things I can move on to. And I would much rather have a flea market stand or something like that and sell like thrift items. You know, I got all kinds of stuff, including cards here, that would be great for that. That's the kind of stuff I actually enjoy doing because I'm not scamming anybody. And around here where I live, flea markets and shit like that and thrift stores are huge because everybody's struggling. And the way everything's going with cards, the direction that Lorcana is in, you got all these, no matter what card thing it is, they're all fucking phonies. And they're all picking a genre for YouTube that is one of the worst to build an audience base of. I didn't know that when I first started. I was like, well, I'll share my hobby. You know, I didn't understand what was going on because I was out of touch with how it had changed over just the course of a couple years from 2016 to 2019. You know, and when I go by in retail stores, this is what I do. I walk by the retail shelf. And the reason why I do that is not because I'm looking to buy, because you can tell the card market by what's on that shelf at Walmart or Target. Okay? For a while, all the Pokemon in Lorcana, even first chapter, was all filled up on that shelf at Walmart. You know what wasn't? The sports blaster boxes. None of them were there. They were sold out. The same people jumping on Pokemon now were jumping all over that. Soon as the guy from MJ Holdings dropped that box down, there was 2 guys ready to fight over it. Picking it all clean. All kinds of sports channels out there, card channels, how, you know, they clean the retail shelf off 20, 30 boxes. You know, and you have to do that with retail in order to find something decent, right? So there's no money in the cards because the boxes have gotten so expensive. Okay, and to give you an idea how much it's changed, 30 years ago, I could walk into Kmart and buy a box about this big, like this. It would have 4 plastic holes in it, right? It'd have 4 stacks of cards. So you basically get like 16 packs of cards for like 10, 15 bucks, okay? And you could pull a $100 card out of it. I remember pulling a Vince Carter autographed card of him in his North Carolina jersey as a rookie out of a $10 box, okay? But that's the shit that you would look for. I mean, the boxes were cheap because you were supposed to, you know, open them all up and look for that one top card, right? And in the meantime, you collect the set. That was the benefit of it. And you could trade and all that. You know why? Because the cards were worthless. Well, they weren't worthless, but they weren't worth very much. We have laws in this country about giveaways and what you're allowed to give another person. You can't be getting out shit for free that's of value. It's illegal. You got to pay something. Somebody in the government's got to get paid for you to do that. That's just how that works. You know, so don't buy into this shit. Don't be going on people's Patreon page and paying extra for stuff that should be free. Don't be joining Discords. Okay? I could say this. If you want to participate in cards, like I'm back and forth on this. Do I want to keep showing cards after this 10 packs of Journey Together comes, or do I want to keep that to myself and just sit back and watch everybody, stand in line for a queue? Let's put that in perspective for a second. Okay, you get 168 hours a week of life. Okay, most of you are probably in the same boat as I am. Like if I wasn't doing this 24/7 care, I would be either a truck driver with my Class A CDL or using my business degree, something office-like entry level, right? So I'd still be working 60 to 80 hours a week, okay, regardless of what I'm doing, okay? I have the affordability, at least I'm working all these hours, I get to do it at home, I get time to do this. So that's why I have time to do these videos even, and the willpower and energy to do any of them. So, I know in other videos I said what I was going to do and other shit like that. But let's put that in perspective. So there's half your life right there. Then you got time that you want to eat, time you need to sleep, time you need to bathe. You spend probably already standing in line. Now, this was years ago, before all this bullshit with everything. You spend basically like 25 to 30% of your life standing in line. So what you want to take more time of your life and stand in some virtual queue all night, or go to a GameStop and stand, or Costco, or whatever, and stand in line for hours to get fucked. It's not, the exchange isn't there. You're cashing in your valuable time, your life. Take it from an old man, okay? I am not young, and I'm telling you, you're gonna regret wasting those moments to making some dipshit, enough money to pay his fucking rent. Because I'm sorry, but, a couple of guys playing a game that should be being played by kids and the art being collected by adults, okay? Playing footsie under the table with each other or whatever they're doing, pretending they're a purist. That's nothing to do, man. And they're small potatoes. They're not even big. I've seen, look, there's a channel I do like watching in sports cards, Silver Sport. Two very nice guys, very likable, seem like former military, like the kind of people that I grew up with, kind of guys that raised me, okay? They seem like that. He went over his financials. He spent probably $100,000 on cards just to have regular content. And he broke down what he made from the card sales, what he made from YouTube and everything. He fell $4,000 short, okay? Even with all the big pools, still fell short. He did not turn a profit, okay? And actually he did pretty good, because that's how cards is, okay? That's what people don't get. It's supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy collecting certain things because they look nice. And then you make the place where you live at look nicer. You organize it. You set it out. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be knickknacks. It could be cards. It doesn't have to be cards. So I just wanted to go over this with the card thing because, like a part of me would like to have monetized social media, but another part of me understands the sacrifice. You're trading one type of slavery for another. YouTube will take half your money anyway that you make from fucking ad revenue, right off the bat. And then you got the government in your hands as well. So, and then you got the cost to buy more stock, to keep more footage going. All those hours, so you're making everybody else money. It's the same shit. You're better off fucking being an actual criminal instead of pretending to be legitimate and acting like a criminal. There's so many things wrong in cards, so much illegal shit going on. Children should not be allowed to barter with grown-ups like it's, I don't know, like you can't do that at a pawn shop. I can't go into GameStop with a broken PS5 controller and exchange it for store credit or get cash, even though it's $5, without ID and signing a receipt. Can't do it. But yet at a card show, you have a 30, 40-something-year-old doing a card deal and a trade, trade night, big trade night, 12 and 16-year-olds, meeting up with 30, 40-year-old men. That doesn't seem funny at all. Hey, give me your valuable kid. I'll give you this cool card. It's worth just as much. It could be fake. You don't know. You don't know. There's all kinds of fraud going on out there. I've lived through all the fraud, all the scams, all the changes, and it's really disappointing. And I know there's some good ones out there. There's a couple good channels out there. If you want a big channel of a guy that's trying to run a legitimate business and seems like a decent guy. And look, I put posts on this guy's channel that I'm about to tell you, Danny Phantom. I put posts on his channel that were much more worse than I put on Lorcana Goons, the fake happy guy. And he was like a decent person about it. He was ready to have a legitimate discussion, and he took into consideration things I said. He's willing to listen. And if you listen to him speak, he's trying to weed through all the bullshit and still run a legitimate business. He's getting screwed on allocations too, and those cost. So there's a whole lot of mess going on. And let me tell you something, it's not going to get any better. Because Pokemon, these companies, they don't care. Why would Pokemon or any card manufacturing company want to make so much of a product that nobody wants it? It's just sitting there. Okay, let me tell you how it works with corporate world. Okay, once they cut back on quality, the very first thing they cut back cost on is labor. So this idea that they could print as many as they fucking want, no, they outsource it. They outsource it for cheap labor no matter who's making the cards. That's just how that works. Okay, so no, they don't want to make more. They want it to be a perfect balance where there's just enough supply, that enough people get it, that it can create FOMO and pandemonia for everybody else with this bullshit idea that everybody's going to make a fucking dollar off it. If you get lucky and you buy and you get some booster boxes of anything that are selling for higher on eBay and you go to sell it on eBay, where do you see eBay fees for the regular person? You ain't making shit. Trust me. I do eBay. I'm so tired of I have an order right in now with PSA of non-sports cards, 30 card submission. When that's it, I'm done. I'm selling most of those just to get my money back, and a couple of them I'm putting aside for myself. Because I'd much rather put a card in a fucking one touch. And it's so bad without being able to have the enjoyment of opening packs now that what I'm going to do is I'm going to quietly sit back. I might check out some people open up shit so I can see what the cards look like. And then I'll go online and I'll wait. I'll wait and wait. And the prices will drop and I'll see something that's, worth having or it looks nice to have. But a lot of these cards after they're out and once people start opening up and they're desperate to sell because of how much they got and they've been lied to about all this money they're going to make. You know what happens? Those card prices drop 80 to 90%. In most cases. Everybody sees that first sale. Everybody's got to be first. First video. First to hype something up. First to sell. First to grade. You know why? Because that's the only person that's going to get that top dollar. And then everybody thinks, oh, well, it sold for that much. I'm going to list it that much too. It doesn't work that way. Because once the cards are out of the box, then real supply and demand kicks in. Okay? Not this market manipulation going on in cards. So, I wanted to do some kind of video. I didn't know what else to do. I'm not overly angry. I should be thanking this guy, showing me that even in Lorcana, the fake purist game player is full of shit. Okay? You can't even open up something. And Disney, they should be grateful anybody's buying their cards because they went woke. Okay? Kathleen Kennedy killed fucking Disney. The stuff I like about Disney is from when Walt Disney was around. Okay? I was going to Disney World, and I started first time 1978. I would still go back. But let me tell you how Disney World's set up. It's all shops and eateries selling you collectibles. Disney collectibles. And in between, they have some rides. Most rides are for the whole family, and then they have a couple thrill rides in there. But that's how it is. They sell collectibles because people used to like Disney shit. When I was a kid, it was on every Sunday night. Disney was pushed big time. Donald Duck was huge. That's just how it was. Lady and the Tramp, big movie. All the good cartoons aren't from now. They're from the past when it comes to Disney. I like Bolt because, he's a dog, not because the cartoon was any good. It's fucking John Travolta. He was a moron. He's another in-the-closet fucking Scientologist. If you really want to get pushy about it, we know why he was in a Disney movie. He fits the woke agenda. But Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm going to leave it on this note, Kathleen Kennedy, who killed Disney, not just the tards that are out there pretending to be purist, gamist, and pushing these cards at a high price. No. Kathleen Kennedy, the first time I seen her name was from an old film from the 80s, one of my favorites, Poltergeist. The first credit that comes up, associate producer Kathleen Kennedy. And my understanding is the producer's the person involved with getting money together and finances. So that's what she did. She started off the money angle, got to know people, worked her way up, and took her woke-ass agenda and started turning everything around. Started changing Disney completely away from what it was. So, I mean, they should be grateful. These card players should be grateful that they even have a new game, because if it wasn't for the Disney collector in the first place, they wouldn't even have a product. Okay? And GameStop was just about dead as a brick and mortar. Okay? The only thing they had was video games, and everybody was downloading them on their console. They were dead in the water. Pokemon and all these card shit and PSA saved their ass. Now they got billions in the bank. Billions. And they're going to shut stores down and minimize it. Why is that? So they can have, so the stores they do have are fully stocked. That's why. There was a video going around, I think it was Leonhardt, was doing an interview of a GameStop store, and it was fully stocked, and people were focusing on the prices in the back. Yeah, that's what you're going to see. That's the future. That's not the present. Everyone was like laughing about that video. No, that's the future. That's what it's coming to. That's where you're going to be. You're going to be in that fucking line or a virtual fucking line. You know, everybody thinking they're going to make money. Nobody's really enjoying it. Everybody's got a fake thumbnail, fake participation. No one can speak their mind. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, so this channel is just going to be, after thinking about it, I don't really care what it is. I'm going to keep putting shit up. I'll talk about whatever the hell I want to. I'll show whatever I want to. You know, and like I said, the dog thing, I'm not going to push it because that's my personal shit. It's there for people to watch, people to subscribe to if they want to, but really I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't. And, you know, the more I thought about this whole YouTube thing, it's like, do I really want to be a slave for YouTube 24/7? No, I don't want to be anybody's fucking slave, man. Okay? I don't. So, you know, if you want to join that kind of crap, you go right ahead. But I'm just letting you know, buyer beware. Caveat emptor. Be careful out there. You know, I'm not here to scam anybody. I don't have any reason to scam anybody. I don't have a financial stake in it. A lot of these fucking guys do. So just remember that. When you're paying it, when you're watching their shit and buying their shit and believing their bullshit, all you're doing is helping them pay their rent. You know, that's all you're doing. Helping them live a better life than you. That's what they think of you. That's what they really think of you. Okay? They think you're a fucking moron and you're going to believe everything they say. If they tell you, while they're opening up 1,000 packs, if they tell you, just wait, you'll be okay. Reprints will solve it all. And then none of this will be worth nothing. And then you can open up one. Because that's what everybody's waiting for. They're all waiting in line to open shit up that, you know, when it's worth nothing. I mean, you know how fucking stupid that sounds? You know, don't believe these guys. Anybody spending that amount of time on editing and thumbnails is doing it for a reason. I tried doing that shit. I had some good editing in the past. All right? There's plenty of times where my Filmora was working properly, and I think they screw with it sometimes to force you to upgrade to the newest version. That's what I think. Because every now and then I go through this, then I upgrade it, and I go to use it, everything's fine. I'm looking at it, I'm like, do I really want to do all that? No, I don't need to. Okay? There's women that, if you are a woman, put on some leotards, some yoga pants, and either stretch or talk. Show a little cleavage. Because you'll go viral and you'll be monetized within the week. I mean, the biggest channels, like I said, some of these I've never even heard of. But I guarantee you, like SCT India, I don't know what that is. I don't at all. But they're global. And a lot of the stuff here is kids. Kids Diana show. So who knows what they're feeding into those kids' head when you look at what schools are doing. I mean, seriously, and no one's watching with their kids what these people are pumping into their head. You know, so who knows? But none of it's cards. None of it. The top 50, the bottom 51 is Lulu Kids at almost 60 million subscribers. Now that's what you want, right? I mean, if you really want to achieve something in YouTube, you know. So don't look. Well, I'm going to wrap it up on this and say this. Don't do things the hard way. Don't. Keep it simple, stupid. It's the KISS business. I call it the KISS business plan. It's out there known. I didn't create it. It's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know? And I did videos just showing you, telling you. Other people are telling you, what matters is every day. They want you to go from being we went from the 9 to 5er, 40-hour a week, Monday through Friday slave to the 7-day a week, 24/7 fucking slave. You know? Every day of the fucking year and holidays. And it's either that or an independent contractor where you don't even make minimum wage and all the expenses are on you, because that's the independent contractor game. Maybe next time I'll talk about that or somewhere down the road. Tomorrow, though, I do have the 10 packs of Journey Together coming. I'm going to open them up here, and who knows when I'll open up cards again. I'm not putting away my cards. Sometimes I'll buy some. Maybe I'll open some, but I won't show it on a video. So I don't give a fuck about that. I like collecting. I like enjoy opening up the packs. Tried to share that over the years, but there's just too much scammery, too many liars, too many phonies, too many douchebags for me to constantly look at it and watch their shit and listen to how full of shit they are, or look at their clickbait thumbnails and how stupid it looks. Okay? I've been at this for 50 fucking years. Okay? I'm not lying about that. All right? Since I was 7 years old. The same age, though, trying to push, saying it's okay now for that age group, to be dealing with people my age now. Are you fucking kidding me? The whole thing sounds a little weird, trade night to me. What's really going on there? You get grown men meeting young boys for, to exchange valuables. Yeah, okay. That sounds like something I would send my child to of any age. No, thank you. Till the next video, take care.